All right, well, past the technical difficulties and past everything else that is going on, holy crap! Oh, welcome. My background is not normal. Why? Because it's completely wrong. Yes, my camera decided to do a Harry Carey on me. And when it did a Harry Carey, it decided, hey, I don't want to work right now. As you see, half of me is gone. So welcome, everybody, to Bossing It Sections. I am your host, Topher. We are an SSBN podcast. We are coming to you live from not the place behind me. But it's great. It's great because microphone's going up. I'm congratulating myself. 60 episodes. 60. You know what that means? So 59 other times plus today, I've done nothing but waste people's time to be like, hey, get in here and enjoy. You know, that also means I have nothing else better to do with my life. So there's so much going on. So much in Boston sports, it's kind of ridiculous. I've also realized the fact that my cans here are going dead. Oh. Well. It's great. I'm going to stop right now. There we go. All right. I need to make sure the audio was at least working because everything in its mother just doesn't want to work. It's like a lot of people in the world. Oof. So I have what is probably a very loaded show today. Showing my notes. We'll go over the Celtics with a couple things that are basically going on. Some opinion in that matter because I like my opinions. Right after that, probably within the 20-minute mark, we're going to be joined by Al Nahigian. He's going to talk some Red Sox with us, especially everything going on with the Sox. Got a plethora. There's even another page for the plethora of Bruins notes I have. Couple little additives and some extras and everything in between. So, I had plans for something. It's not going to work because you there, camera. We're on thin ice. Not too proud. All right. So I got that pulled up. Now that's just loving like wanted to watch yourself. Watch yourself here, my dear. Watch yourself. Oh. So how's everybody? It's like the second. It's going to be a beautiful thing because you got some really good moments coming up. We've got the 4th of July. So hopefully everybody's getting prepped and good to enjoy. You ever have one of that moment that I don't have a drink in front of me. I don't have anything in front of me because I just spent the past 15, 20 freaking minutes going completely haywire. And now my light is dying for whatever friggin' reason. And like, nothing is working today. Have a 60th show, they said. Rock on with everything, they said. What could go wrong? I feel like the show right now is being run by Don Sweeney. You know what that means? Don Sweeney has invaded my personal space. Do I like it? No. Do I have to like it? God, no. But we'll get into the Sweeney Weenie Man later. Whole lot of stuff to like actually say with that. Red Sox celebrating a 75th. Me and Big Al will go over that as well. As well as something the Yankees are doing for later. Oh man, that's probably going to be like a hell of a lot of fun. Let's see what else we got. The Celtics. Celtics. And by the way, while I'm here, let's see if I can actually add it. I don't know if it's a video file. Stream widgets. Well, that sucks. Extra camera video file. Let's see if I can open it. So, what I did for a roundabout type of thing, and this is probably one of the cooler things that I'm like excited about. If this thing really wants to stop. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is probably gonna be an issue. I don't know how much light that's gonna add, but I have a feeling like my actual like new light is gonna go out. So let me see if I can actually do this. This thing's a waste. Oh, can it go in the hole? Yep. Is it going to behave? Nope. Did it just fall? Yep. Is like everything in its mother breaking? Yep. 9 minutes in, and all hell is breaking loose. Only took 9 minutes. So, let's see if we can actually do this. Okay. So, as you know, to the fact that like I'm part of SSBN, Small State Big Network, the boys down from Rhode Island are actually loving to make me one of their own. So as the run-of-the-mill Boston guy, I've jokingly stated to the fact that none of them are going to be on. And beauteous to the dismay, one of them is joining us. Not today, next week. So I'm really excited about that. We've got Steve Scott, who's going to be joining us. And Steve lovingly left this little note. So like I was saying, one of the beautiful things is like you can send a message. It is SpeakPipe. SpeakPipe is a really cool thing. You go on speakpipe.com/Boston Concessions. You can record a message. And the cool part about it is what I wanted to use it for is I know I can't have anybody call in, but I want you guys to leave a voicemail or leave something that kind of goes over something you guys want to talk about. And I will rip through them as long as they are appropriate, as long as they are something I can listen to. something like along the lines of where like it would be like a benefit. So this way, it's not only just me, but I'm inviting you guys, and that's kind of like what I want to do. All right, just checking with Al. Probably have him on in about 5 minutes, and then we'll basically revert. I'll cover a couple things and basically be merry about it. All right. So here's Steve Scott. He left us a message, and there's some of it has got like some choice words, but there's nothing really bad or anything to it. So it's yeah, it's really great when you get like some support. It's awesome. Steve Scott, thank you much. It only took 60 episodes to get somebody from Small State Big Takes or Small State Takes to record anything. But like I said, we're getting them live next week. So confrontation will be in order, but it should be fun. I was going to start with the Celtics. You know something? I'm just going to start with the Red Sox. Got Big Al coming on in about a couple of moments, so we can actually hit the yard that way. Let me just make sure he's got a link here. All right. Try to come over to things here. Oh. Red Sox are actually winning 1-0, bottom of the 6th. They're playing the Cincinnati Reds. It's like Romy Gonzalez hitting an RBI. Dane Raffaella getting the hit. Somebody. I know I'm normally more prepared than what I'm. All right. So we're popping in. Gonna talk Sox. It's gonna be a great, grand old time. And hopefully to the fact that like I can actually get my bearings for a moment. But while I do that, please welcome, fresh off their recording of their Tuck Rules take, and they're the absolute wonderful, the keeps me level-headed every once in a while, our loving best friend, good guy, all around Bostonian to boot. Anna! Where are you?
Should be here.
It's not having you in. What's going on here? Ah!
There we go.
Jesus. I'm having more technical difficulties. This is going to be a 60th episode of shit.
Don't go there. Don't say that. You're good. We're here. You had me 6 days ago. It's been 6 long days since we've talked. Hi, bud. Happy 60th anniversary.
Thank you. I just played the speak pipe of that came from Steve Scott. Called me turnip twice. It was adorable.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yes.
Did he even call you Topher?
He called me turnip, then Topher, then turnip again.
Friggin' Steve.
So we'll go to, hey, like I said, it took 60 episodes to get one of them to like actually have a voice on this pod.
Gotta love him. Oh my god. Have you how many of the voices did you get, or the messages in did you get?
Just one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like the cool part about it is I'm going to implement it as a really cool thing because like anybody who like clicks the pod, joins in, clicking it, leaving a message just to like, hey, got your take from like last week or like, on Sunday, wanted to like voice my opinion, blah, 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 blah. And as long as it's respectful, as long as it's, within certain parameters, it's not telling me to go fuck myself or anything like that. Like, yeah, like I'll play it. Shouldn't be a problem.
Oh man, but the other ones would be so fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Be fun. And not in a mean way, but just in a, hey man, we know you're here.
I mean, hell, I get a good laugh, like like messaging back and forth with Joe Murray when he has like some really wild ones on his. So I guess I could do the same.
You could. We love Joe Murray.
We do. He's at the Sox game right now too.
He is. I heard him talk about that this morning on Toucher and Hardy. And did you hear that whole segment?
Which one?
Where Matt McCarthy was giving Joe Murray shit because he called the 1975 Red Sox losers.
Yeah. I swear to God, like I thought somebody was going to throw a chair. And I did ask McCarthy in the chat. This did come off. Who is better, the 67 Red Sox or the 75? He outlandishly said the 75 Red Sox were better.
Probably. I mean, they were more talented. I mean, the 67 team wasn't supposed to do anything. That's why they were literally called the Impossible Dream. The 75 team had everything they needed to win it all.
So here's my father's take, because I'll take from him. When you were watching the Sox, there wasn't a lot of draw. However, 67 brought you back into the fray to get to a game, get to certain things, because there wasn't anything that was getting you to the ballpark. However, within the Impossible Dream, when you had the guys who were basically destined to fail, pulled off probably one of the most immaculate comebacks and so submitted themselves as one of the more prominent teams to like actually grow. And yeah, it took them a couple more years. They took to 75. And I get it. 75 is 50 years from then till now. That makes you, basically what you are. I did like Joe Murray's take this morning, though. And one of the things I loved about it was the man has a point. You're facing Terry Francona. Is that a slap in the face to him?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it because, but then again, every time Terry Francona comes here, are you gonna always be like celebrating and stuff like that? Like, that's the hard part for me. Like, if it was, so what is it? It's 2025 now. If this was, say, last year or 2029, right? 25-year anniversary. Okay, fine. Like, celebrate it. You're not going to celebrate it every year, but I also get Francona has been in the game a while. He's back with the Reds and everything, managing, and I get all that. He's had the health scares, but it's like you can't always celebrate every little thing. You can't do it.
Especially when Terry Francona walks on your field. This is the man that helped the Red Sox break an 86-year curse. Basically told the Bambino to go fuck himself. And you're now telling Francona, in less words than one, the same damn thing. To me, it's kind of childish.
It is. No, 100%. It's childish. It's moronic. I don't know, but I am interested to see how many legends Joe Murray actually talked to tonight in that legend suite.
Oh, that's where he was? Oh.
Yeah, that's where he got the tickets. I think McCarthy said on Toucher and Hardy this morning, I hope someone like throws a chair at you. Obviously joking, but like it was so like I'll say this: McCarthy and Murray work so well together. And I'm not saying because like Joe Murray, like he has the show with Leroy Irvin. Like I know McCarthy does stuff with like Milliken and Carabas, like when he comes into the office and everything else. But like if Joe Murray and Matt McCarthy had a show consistently together, I think it would make really good radio and would have good ratings. They just feed off each other really well. Hot take.
Yeah, I mean, like everything you're basically like feeling about it, like everything that's basically going on, it makes it feel more inviting.
Yeah, like personal. Yeah.
I'm trying to also find the other thing that I was there it is. They're already going for like high money. Oh my god. So I've basically been going through and I actually sent this to Joe because I thought it was funny. Are you a Seinfeld fan?
Not a huge fan. Like I've watched a couple episodes, but I'm not like a diehard.
Okay. So you do know about George Costanza when he did work for the Yankees?
Oh yeah. I remember that. I do remember that scene. Yes.
So the Yankees on August 21st, they're having a bobblehead night. And it is Seinfeld bobblehead night. And it is, let me see if I can actually get it, because the New York Post put a picture of it. CBS News. There's a lot of people that have basically been covering it, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's adorable. I guess you could, if you really want to be that weird about it. Trying to get my little program to like actually do what it needs to do here. Okay.
Can't help but bob my head to the music. The music is just always gets me. It's calm, it's soothing, it's just great.
Oh, just like right in the background?
Yep.
And like it doesn't even sound like it's going over like fully.
I know.
But it's great to the fact that like it actually catches.
It is great. 100%.
There it is. Save it in there. And I will add it to an image. P. Sully, it does help the ambience. Welcome in, buddy. How you doing? So get some of those lovely chatters. What the hell did he go with it? So the episode in question was George decided to go under his desk and take a nap. So on August 21st, if you are in inside Yankee Stadium, and yes, I'm hyping Yankees, don't mind me. But if you do go inside Yankee Stadium, you will be given one of these bobbleheads. I really want one.
Make the draft in New York. It's only 4 hours.
Right, sit in the nosebleed, get a bobblehead. They're going for like $250, $300 on the eBay right now.
That much, huh? Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, I could save myself the money of the ticket and also the drive and just order the damn thing. I did say if it was like $50 to $100, I'd really, really contemplate it. But like since it's $250 now, I really gotta give the good thoughts.
Right.
So besides that, like loving like little piece. I've got a question for you, Al. And it is Sox related.
Yes.
At the trade deadline, do you feel to the fact that the Red Sox are going to be okay with what they're hunting, what they're looking for, what they're doing, and within everything that they're doing, do you feel that Breslow is still the man for the job?
So to answer the first part of your question, do I think they'll be basically like content and happy with what they're doing? Yeah, because they're going to want to sell. Like, it's no secret that this organization wants to sell. They always want to sell because they just know that the team isn't good enough to really contend. But the problem is, Topher, the Red Sox, right now they're playing the Reds. If they're up 3-0 in the seventh, there's a little bit of traffic on the bases for the Reds. Assuming if the Red Sox win that, they're going to be 44-44. Their next 3 series are the Nationals, the Rockies, and the Rays. Then you got the Cubs, and then the Phillies, and then the Dodgers, which is a little bit of a brutal stretch. But if you can play well enough where you go, say, 7-2 in that stretch, 3-game series against the Nationals, 3-game series against the Rockies, 4 against the Rays. So if you go 7-3 in that stretch, or even 8-2, then that should wake up Craig Breslow to be like, you know what? I should probably buy some things for them. But what I think is realistically going to happen, this is my take for what's going to happen. Chapman's going to get traded, which I think is a mistake because you actually have a bona fide closer. And I think that one of the outfielders is going to go. And I think it's either going to be Jarren Duran or it's going to be Wilyer Abreu. And if you had to ask me who do I think it's going to be between the two, I think it's going to be Jarren Duran. And I don't want Jarren Duran to leave. I like Jarren Duran. I know you might not be a big Section 10 podcast guy, but they just had Jarren Duran on Section 10. 45, 50-minute interview. Go check it out if you haven't listened to it. It's great. And he reveals – go ahead.
I was going to say I will state this, and I will tag them later. Every once in a while, I do listen to Section 10. I've met Jared Carrabis. He's a wonderful human being, chill dude. And I for myself, like I'm a Carrabis fan.
I am too. No, I am too. And you know what? Duran showed the human side of him. He showed what it's like to be an MLB big leaguer day in and day out that we don't see. So really, really great interview if you have the time to listen to it in the car or if you're working out, whatever. But it's sad that I feel like the inevitable is coming, that they're going to sell. And if you ask me, do I think Craig Breslow is basically the guy for the job of the future? No, I don't. And that's not going to change until we're proven otherwise. We as fans want to see a decent product. We haven't seen a decent product since 2021. We have not seen a good product for 6 of the last 7 seasons. The one exception was the 2021 year. Which, by the way, quick trivia question, Topher. In 2021 at the trade deadline, who was the bat that the Red Sox got to add to their lineup that was actually good?
Kyle Schwarber?
Yep. Chaim Bloom went out and got Kyle Schwarber, which was a great move. Ended up working out. I think if the lockout hadn't happened, I think Schwarber, believe it or not, hot take, would still be here as a Red Sox today. I think they would have signed him long term. They didn't, and that's another story. But you haven't made those moves to get yourself in a position to really contend. So it's sad, but Topher, you know how it is. I know you don't watch the games as much because of your thing with Alex Cora. I get it, and I understand it. But it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And the smart fans realize, you're not going to fool us anymore. So,
well, part of the reason why I don't watch is kind of what P. Sully said in the chat. Henry needs to sell the team.
yes.
And I agree with that because, the second part of what he said was very simple. Get someone who wants to win running the ship. Mm-hmm. I personally, with me, I know Breslow wants to win. I know he was an intricate part with a lot of pieces and everything like that he did in Chicago when he was actually getting himself ready and prepared. I still think to the fact that he's working one-handed with one hand tied behind his back. I personally think the Rafael Devers thing, no matter what fans said, it was John Henry who listened to the fans and said, okay, let's get him signed. Let's make everybody happy. Let's get him signed. Let's make him a Red Sox and basically do what we need to do because Rafael Devers belongs here. A lot of people were on board. I really was not. And I still think to the fact that there's a lot of upside to downside of Rafael Devers. But a lot of people, and I think Jonathan Papelbon even said it himself, when you look at Rafael Devers, the only person who Rafael Devers did himself in and basically the Red Sox had to act was Rafael Devers himself. If he played ball, took a couple of things at first base, bit his tongue, stated his discontent in the offseason, stated it behind closed doors, I think he would still be in a Sox uniform unless to the fact that the trade deadline, someone really came up with something amazing and said, here's this. But the one thing I will say when I'm watching replays, I'm seeing a different caliber of team, not so much as on the field, but in the clubhouse, I'm seeing a little bit more of a work together. I'm seeing a little less mopage. I'm seeing a little less they have baggage that they're claiming around. I don't know if it's the presence of Roman Anthony. I don't know if it's the presence of someone else. But when you grow with that and you look at everything as it is imaginable, was Rafael Devers really kicking the clubhouse down? Was that a portion of where the culture was kind of off? Because there's a lot of things I still say Cora is the main reason that everything in that clubhouse is off. So unless his mode changed, I don't see it from him. Unless anything else basically changed, I don't see it from anybody else. But to me, it just body language and everything out of the guys out of the team look completely different, and it doesn't look like what it did when Devers was here.
Right. And I think part of it is that all these guys are trying to figure out who they are going forward with this franchise. You have three young guys that are really, really good in Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer and Christian Campbell, even though he's in AAA right now. With that being said, you also have to build around them. Right now, you take those three guys, Ceddanne Rafaela, Garrett Crochet. After that, who do you really want to keep for the long term, Toph?
besides those 5 guys? Who, like, you want them beyond just 2025? And maybe Carlos Narvaez. You can throw Carlos Narvaez in there too. He's had a good year. So those 6 guys. Who else would you want for more than a season?
Well, I mean, again, just to make sure, like, I've got this. Like, I can have the choice of anybody I want that's on the team now.
That's on the team right this second. Yes. Who do you think? Like, who would you build this team around besides the 6 guys that I mentioned? So again, 6 guys I mentioned: Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Sinan Rafaela, Garrett Crochet, Carlos Narvaez. Who else would you want?
I mean, as weird as it is, I'm putting Durant in that.
Which is fair.
You know, I mean, he's close enough to like being the major leaguer. He's basically become a different presence in the clubhouse, which is something I really like. With everything that he's basically come out and about with, especially from the beginning of the season, I think the Jarren Duran that we saw last year and the year before is a completely different Jarren Duran than what you're seeing currently. Because, you know, when you get out of those dark places, and Jarren Duran was in a very dark place.
Yeah, he was.
And speaking from experience, I've been in dark places. I know like a couple people that I know that are also into sports. They know of these dark places, and that's why they relate to someone like him. I mean, we don't have the profile that he has.
Right.
But the man is someone that is starting to basically come into his own, understands who he is, 27 years of age. Can he actually give a little bit more to this team over the next 5 months that may be a benefit to him? Could he also give back going forward, where it's like, here's a nice fresh slate, got my breathe in, breathe out, do my exercises, get in there. I'm now 28. How much of a leader can I actually offer to these guys? Plus, like he stated, he would take a pay cut to stay with the team because this is where he feels comfortable. And personally with me, if that's the case, make him comfortable. Make him feel like he wants to. Like the man wants to be here, let him be here. If you're going to pitch him off to get next to nothing, you know, kind of like what you did with Rafael Devers. Yes, you got a couple pieces. Yes, I'm really intrigued by one of the pitchers that they got. And yes, it does build for the future. You kind of left a couple things out for like the right now. You don't have a power bat. You don't have someone who can basically be that threatening presence at the plate. I mean, Al, if you had to look at anybody on this lineup right now, who's your threatening presence that you are not going to fear, or you are going to fear pitching to?
Nobody right now. There's nobody right this second on the Red Sox that you could say that. Now, in a year or so, we could maybe argue Roman Anthony. Because I think Roman Anthony has the plate discipline, he has the coverage of the strike zone, he has the approach, and he just has the look of an everyday Major League Baseball player at the age of 21. I think Roman Anthony is going to be a star here in Boston as long as he continues to traject upward. But right now, you don't have that. You had that in Rafi Devers, but you got rid of him. And I don't see, like, let me ask you this, just simple yes or no. Do you think the Red Sox at the deadline are going to get a power bat? I'm going to say no.
I don't think they're going to get a power bat because I don't think there's going to be one available for them. Taking by like a lot of also, like, again, Breslow comments, he wants to be a buyer at the deadline, but of course, what do you have to offer that's not anybody on your team currently? Or what do you have downstairs where you have Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, you have Tristan Campbell that's downstairs who's learning a little bit more mechanics, but basically they're the John Cena's of the Red Sox right now. They're untouchable. And when you come to like look at the farm, you can't see them. So who do you offer in their state besides, a player to be named?
All right. Player to be named later. No, that's it.
I mean, that is a possibility, but like, what power bat are you going to get for that player to be named later? Can you even name a power bat that's out there that somebody wants to like give up? Like, hey, we're out and about, we're not even making it anymore. Hey, we've got these players like up for grabs. Who's basically pitching off people right now that anybody would want to take?
There is nobody, but there is a team and a player specifically that you should be calling if you want to get some asses back into seats. You call up the Chicago Cubs. And again, this is bold, and I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you want to get a little bold, you want to get a little crazy, you call the Chicago Cubs. You say, hey, Kyle Tucker's not signing with you next year. He's going to be a free agent. We'll take him right now, but we're going to tell you who we're giving up, and we have to know he's going to sign an extension with us. Because if you have him for half a year and then he walks, that's not going to do it. Now, again, that's asking a lot. But sometimes you have to make the uncomfortable call or the uncomfortable text or whatever, right? Whatever form of communication they have. And sometimes you have to take a gamble on that. You just have to. And it can't always be you're giving away players. You have to take in players. Like, you took a chance on Garrett Crochet. He has been great for you this year. He's been the ace you've been looking for. You took a smaller flyer on Carlos Narvaez. He's been a constant, behind the plate this year.
I'll give a throwback. You reached out to the Miami Marlins, and at the time, they were the Florida Marlins, and you wanted Josh Beckett. Yep. You wanted Josh Beckett here so badly. And you wanted him so badly that when they said, oh, we'll include Mike Lowell, people balked.
That deal.
But you took the deal.
It cost you Hanley Ramirez, but I think Hanley Ramirez was in that deal, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah. And you basically got Josh Beckett. You got Mike Lowell. But what was the other thing you got with those two?
I'll look it up right now.
I believe you also got what's called a World Series.
Oh, I thought you were talking a player. My bad. I should have read that.
There was probably another player in there. But if you really think about it, did you get a World Series?
You did.
Who was the World Series MVP?
Mike Lowell.
For an addition, he didn't do that bad now, did he?
No.
So, Al, I'm 1,000% on board with what you're saying because, yes, Craig Breslow should be picking up the phone and making that uncomfortable phone call. Just inquire on everybody and let them talk, let them state their piece. The first thing, is Roman Anthony available? Can you move on Marcelo Meyer? You sent Christian Campbell down. Can you
hang up the phone if they even mention any of those names?
I'd be playing softball because they'd be pitching it out. Oh, like what about this? What about this? It's like, well, who else you got as a thought? Well, why? Is it because they're not? No,
they're not available.
If they say no, then you hang up and walk away.
Right.
But there's always going to be that one conversation to where like you want the big guy, you got to get the big guy. And right now you don't have a big guy to like even offer. I mean, you probably have a couple prospects. You probably have something that you can literally pitch off. Right, cool. Let's pitch them off. You want a pitching prospect. We've got a number 45 in like in our thing. He's probably going to be really good, like third or fourth pitcher, and be able to handle, we got rotation guys. We got a guy that can basically play in every man. You'll be fine. For a rental player, those guys are exactly what it is. I mean, not to bring up a different sport or anything like that, but like in hockey, the Edmonton Oilers just traded
Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah. For a 7th round pick. And everybody's up in arms with them. And I'm sitting here like, Do you guys realize before he went to Edmonton, he was a 20 goal scorer?
You got something for him, and that's part of it. I think the problem with Craig Breslow and formerly Chaim Bloom is that they were afraid to lose the deal. And they were so hesitant and so scared. Now, Breslow, again, you can give a little more credit to because he went out and got Crochet. He signed Alex Bregman. He's made moves. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But you can also tell that after you sell off your star hitter, or like you basically said, pennies on the dollar, you got to go out and make more moves.
Well, I'll state this within it because like it was one of the things that I myself had a conversation with Joe Murray about, and it was something he said that kind of stuck with me. At some point, you're going to have to trade Rafael Devers, and it may not be now. And I even said it on my podcast. You're going to trade him at some point because he's going to do something that is going to make him tradable. And I think that's basically what they went for. And within everything that you looked at, you saw Devers not working right with the guys in the clubhouse. Some of them weren't sitting right to the fact that, like, dude, you could have been playing first base. You could have been helping us out. You're not. Conversations where, like, you're getting management and everything involved. Why? Guys that are looking up to him because he's a $300 million man right now, and he's acting like he's 45 cents. That's the problem. So, of course, when you have a problem guy like that, are you going to get pennies, a couple donuts? Is somebody going to go get a lobster roll? Is somebody going to offer a chop suey sandwich from the place on Salem Willows? Yeah. You're not going to get much for the guy because he's going to be considered an issue. So, of course, do I think everything that's basically going on with the Giants and Rafael Devers is smoke and mirrors? Yes. Because he wants the people of San Francisco to feel comfortable that, yes, I'll play first base. I'll play third base. I'll be a DH. I'll be a Huckleberry. No. Baloney. I like baloney too.
I'm so tired of talking about Rafi Devers. Like, it's over. He's not coming back. And it's time to move on. So it is. It's time to move on.
Hey, Al.
Hey.
You grew up around the area like Saugus and everything, right?
Yes, of course.
Did you guys ever go to Floramos?
What was it?
Floramos? It was in Chelsea?
No.
So they're reopening Floramos, which was the place that the meat fell off the bone.
Okay.
They're opening it on Revere Beach.
Oh.
Right where Antonia's was. Sorry, I wanted to change the subject because it was Rafael Devers.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Those good slide segments, like, dude, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen with this team, but we're going to see in a couple weeks. I mean, of course, I said they have to, win the game, and of course, they give up a grand slam, and then they're down 5-4 in the seventh, and it's just they can't. They're literally like, and I say this very, very lightly. It's like and I forget what they're called exactly, but they're the machines at the hospital where they track the heart rate and everything goes up and down. I forget what it's called exactly. Not monogram. Is that what it's called?
Echocardiogram?
Yeah. Where it just is up and down. That's the Red Sox. They're literally up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well, that's also what their fan base does. Like, their heart goes up and down because they're like, yeah.
But it's not even up and down anymore. It's just like down, 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 up. Then there's like just a little glimmer of hope. And when you think it's just about to come back even, down, down, down. And then maybe up just a little bit more, then down. It's never ending. Until John Henry sells his team, it's always going to happen.
A little bit to the fact of, like, what I was worried about was starting pitching for one. Garrett Crochet coming out like a strength, looking as he does. There's no worry about that. You don't have to worry about like a lot of things with Crochet. Like he's going to go out, he's going to be himself. When you look at the remainder of that lineup, Brian Bayo coming back, injury, not looking too bad. Walker Buehler basically having. I could see him as I mean, if you really want to get technical, there's something of a portion that you can actually utilize for trade.
I think at this point, you're going to get more for Giolito than you are Buehler. Giolito's been really good the past month. He's on the second year of his 2-year contract. So Walker Buehler, unfortunately, I think your best move, you give him the next start, which I think is going to be at Washington. And if he stinks and he struggles again, I think the move is just kind of cut bait and just be like, you know what? We lost on this deal. And they have Patrick Sandoval coming back in the second half of the season. Kyle Anderson looks like he's going to be ready sooner rather than later. They still have options. That's the whole thing.
Well, for me, what I'd be looking at is if I start with, hey, I want your big bat. Okay, what do you got for him? Well, I got Walker Buehler. You know, it's like end of the rotation / bullpen guy. Basically, look at him like that. But we'll do you a favor. We've got the money. We'll take on 80% of his contract. And we'll take on your big bat. And we'll throw in a sweetener. To start a conversation like that can basically get you out of a $20 million Walker Buehler that's basically going to be a headache for like the remainder of the year. Because it seems like him and Cora do not vibe. And I'm not sure if it's to the fact that like he doesn't like Cora doesn't like him. I do know the fact like when he signed his deal, he was ecstatic as all hell to come to the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like he almost doesn't want to take the field.
I don't know.
So is it a him thing? Is it like, did someone shit in his Cheerios? That's what I want to know. Like, what the hell happened to the guy that was so excited to sign a $21 million deal with the Red Sox to go away from the LA Dodgers to come to us? What was so sweet and great about it that like now you're sour grapes?
Because he's pitching bad. That's the whole reason. It's not Boston. He's not doing the job that he needs to do. And it shows. I don't know.
Did you feel he was like this the whole time?
What, that he was
Straight garbage?
I think, looking back, I think there's a reason why the Dodgers were comfortable letting him walk. Because they didn't need to go out and get all these pitchers that they have now. I mean, they can because they're the Dodgers, but I think that they were like, you know what? He gave us a good postseason, but there's something here we don't love in the long term. We're okay with letting him go.
Do you feel that the comments between both him and Alex Cora maybe something there might be something there? Considering Alex Cora says he's 100% healthy. Walker Buehler says he doesn't want to talk about it.
I don't think there's anything there. I think he's just tired of the results, and he's run out of things to say. It almost feels like when Chris Sale was here. Obviously, Chris Sale was better in his tenure here. Granted, he got hurt a lot, but when he was actually on the mound, he did well for the Red Sox. When he had his shit starts, he'd be like, yeah, I sucked. It is what it is. And Walker Buehler, to his credit, does the same thing, but I think he's only here for a year, and I think he's just like, yeah, I got no answers right now. I got to figure it out. So.
Just one of those. It's one of those food for thoughts, like especially when like, me, I'm a body language guy. So,
right.
Of course, like when the one thing I've never ever liked, when you also mentioned to the fact of like me not liking Alex Cora, is when he's hunched over like this and he's got his arms crossed on the table and he's just like, yeah, he's healthy. It's like there's just something about the way his language is speaking. It's not coming off properly. And then when you look at Walker Buehler's response, he just doesn't look like he's, the first couple times it was like, yeah, I didn't throw the ball right. Like he at least like wanted to like tell you shit didn't happen. Like nothing went right. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Nothing went right. I'm not happy. But then all of a sudden it's, you get a response like that where it kind of gives this shove. And I want to know who the shove is going to. Because if you're asking if a man is healthy and he just kind of shoves you back, like what's the reason for his shove? What's the reason for him just going, no, I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. It's moments like that make me wonder. And I'm hoping to the fact that, like, you're right, Al. I always do. Maybe I am looking a little bit too much into it, but like, there were certain things, you talk about Jackie Bradley, you talk about Mookie Betts, you talk about, I'll even mention like, even when he was here, Andrew Benintendi. And I just mentioned like 3 of the guys that made up for the powerhouse that was the Red Sox outfield for like a long period of time. And one of the absolute beauteous things I said was like over a point, you all of a sudden started to look at them and it was like Mookie had a different body language. And you didn't notice it until all of a sudden it was contract time, and then it was the bad contract came. And it was Benintendi had a different body language, and next thing you know, he's traded to Kansas City.
Right.
So it's I'm seeing the same kind of body language on a Walker Buehler, and I'm wondering, like, is this him or is this somebody else? I'm hoping you're right, though.
Yeah,
I'd love for you to be right.
I was gonna say, love the thinking, but I think you are reading a little too much into it. I think it's just simply, Cora doesn't have any answers, and Buehler doesn't have any answers either. Cora's like, yeah, he's healthy. He's taking the ball every 5 days, so I don't know. And Buehler's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on either. I think it's more surface level than we think. I don't know.
Out of the, if you're John Henry and company, and you're keeping Craig Breslow for where he is, and you're having him basically run a mill for like another year, because one year is not going to come, and that's at least to me. Like, if you want to keep somebody going, you don't just pitch them off for 1 year. Just say, dude, screw. So if you have Breslow for another year, and when you finally go into this, one of the things you're pulling out is off season. We got money. We got our 3 young guys. We got everything we need to do. Where in this is the direction you want this team to go?
Go be aggressive. Go sign a couple big contracts. Go get another starter in this rotation that you're going to keep for more than 2 years. Like, let's take a look at the free agency class because I'm genuinely curious. Let's look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I asked the question because I was curious.
Okay, so that's last year. Let's look at 2026 because again, these names, who knows what's going to happen with these names, but let's see.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, to the fact that, like, some of them are, the team's either going to go for them, they're going to, get a qualifying offer. Nobody's really going to touch them in certain ways.
I know.
It's baseball's a little weird when you get into it.
I'll tell you, the starting pitching is weak. It's very, very weak. It's Jordan Montgomery, Nick Martinez, Walker Bueller, Chris Bassett, Lucas Giolito, Chris Sale, Framber Valdez, Miles Mikolas, Marcus Stroman, Jack Flaherty, Scherzer. I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot here that I love. I'll tell you one name that you could go after. Could go after Zach Gallen from Arizona. I would love to see them make a pitch on him.
Stroman's not too bad of a pitcher either.
Stroman's over the hill, though. The Yankees don't even want him to start right now. I don't want Stroman at this point in his career.
How old is he? Like, is he in his late 30s?
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting up there. Michael King from the Padres. That's another name that I would like. Other than that, I mean, they're all in their mid to late 30s or at best early 30s. It's tough, but I don't know. Maybe Dustin May from the Dodgers. But the point is, go get a starter and then get a couple legitimate bullpen arms. That's what you need to do. Shore up your pitching because your core fielding and hitting is there. And
You
also,
just got to stop blowing games.
right. And then the last thing I'm going to say is this. You have to make sure Alex Bregman finishes his career here. That man cannot leave. He has to be here while the young kids are here developing.
Can I ask you a random question now that you brought that up?
Yes.
You're Alex Bregman. You have the most to where like the next couple of years you're basically making $40 million a year over the next couple of years. Do you think another team is going to offer you that?
No, I don't. I think his best bet is to stay with the Red Sox, take the $40 million, and then if you have a big year in 2026 in which you're healthy, then maybe a team will be dumb enough to give him a 4 or 5 year deal for big money the following offseason. But I digress.
Only time can tell.
That's it.
Before I actually let you go,
Yes.
what's your plans for the 4th?
I'm hanging out with the family, hanging out with the fiance's family. We'll just go to like a cookout and just kind of chill. Nothing too big. How about you?
I am doing absolutely nothing but sitting in the house.
Nothing wrong with that
It
either.
is probably one of the first years I'm just basically going to sit down, relax, and not really go crazy.
That's good.
So-
Sometimes we need to do that.
What's I know you're the lover of food. So you got a grill in front of you. You've got basically a couple people that are ready to go. What's the couple things you actually pop on the grill? Like say your top 3 items that that are basically going to make people pop off.
I'm going to keep it super, super basic, super, super simple. Hot dogs, burgers, steak tips. Keep it easy. Nice and easy. Don't overthink it.
Simple plan man. That's what Al is. Simple
That's
plan
it.
man.
That's it.
You got
That's
the
all it
cat
is.
even chiming in. All right. He is Al. He's with Tuckerel Takes. Go give him a follow and make sure you give the boys some love because they got some wonderful takes.
Appreciate you, Toph. Appreciate you having me. Congrats again on 60. And here's to not just 60 more, but hopefully like 600 more.
Man, he just wants me to do this until I croak.
See you, bud.
Yeah.
Good job.
Take care, man.
You too.
He is Al. He is the wondrous person. We love him over here. He's actually, but this is the 3rd time he's actually been on. So we know he's got some good love. But I knew Red Sox talk was going to be really easy with him. Now I'm getting distracted by Cat. I've got a note here that makes me like really laugh. So I'm going to go into it because, like, one of the things I do want to mention is basically going to be high time in someone's health. Especially when I have to look at, like, certain things. I don't know where the heck, yeah. You know, it's times like this when I look at this man right here. I really have to wonder if that's a screenshot, by the way. That's the part I love about, like, the screenshots. Do I really feel to the fact that Don Sweeney is getting a lot done? Not really. Not my mindset. Drafting, we went over the draft last week. He sucks. He does. He does. I have the strong suspicion to the fact that, like, yes, he sucks. And if anybody who knows me, we had this conversation. I'm a lover of Cam Neely. I'm a supporter of Cam Neely. Right now, if I had Cam Neely in front of me, I'm not speaking wonderful about Cam because I have a feeling like he's sucking, like, right now even more. And it kicks me to say that. But I have a list of people that, you know, and this kind of like goes in a, it kind of like pitches off to the fact that, like, it reminds me of, it kind of reminds me of the New England Patriots. Here he is, or here's the Bruins basically going into free agency. They're making a splash on their first day. They're signing, like, all these guys. They're making moves. The only name that anybody really knows and, like, respects and understands is Sean Corrali. So what is it to the fact that Sean Corrali has that makes him want to come back here? Also, you signed Sean Corrali to a 2-year, almost $2 million deal. You could have got something a little bit better, maybe a second lineman, something that gives you a little bit more edge. I'll take a word from Al. You went out in free agency, and you could have been so aggressive in what you wanted to pull, and what you wanted to do, that you would have made this whole monumental piece be all about, you know, who you get, what you do, how you do it. And you couldn't even do that. Instead, you got Tanner Jeanette, who's basically a fourth line guy. Maybe third, but he's basically a fourth liner. You signed him for 5 years. It's basically a guy that ran with the Sturm Club. Do I feel comfortable about that? No. Would I have done 2.5? Save some money? Yes. Would I have done it for 3 years and done 2 team options? Yes. Does it save the Bruins? Yes. Because now you almost have like $900K to play with if you signed him for that. And who's really going to go off at Tanner Jeanette and give him that kind of money? Nobody. Nobody was eyeballing Tanner Jeanette. Nobody wanted, like, you know, a guy that was basically going to come off and not have a lot. You went out and you went to Edmonton. You got Victor Arvidsson. He's got a $4 million annual, like, contract to him, but you only gave up a 7th round pick. Okay with that? Yes. And like I told Al, one of the beauty parts of giving up that pick for him was before he went to Edmonton, he was a 20-game goal scorer. I mean, he was a 20-goal scorer out of the year. I'll take 20 goals for the Bruins. That's a good pick. You don't have to wait for a guy to come in, use him correctly, use him as you need to. Edmonton didn't. They signed the guy. He didn't work out. He was basically like a bust. He didn't help really in the playoffs. And it was like Edmonton just said, oh, yeah, we signed this guy for $4 million. What does he do? We don't know. All right. We got to figure out what to do with him. And they never did. They left him hanging. So now he's on the Bruins. You got to figure out what to do with him. Where are the bonuses? What can we do with him? Sean Corrali, I still want to know what you signed this guy for. Sean Corrali was nothing big when he was with the Bruins. Nothing big. He was a small-time guy in a small-time world, okay, where a portion of it was at some point when the Bruins sucked. I want to really look him up really quick. Curious about this. He's an American ice hockey player. He is 32 years of age. He was here during 2016, 2017. And then after playing that 1 year, nope, he went to 2021. He left as a free agent, signed a 4-year, $10 million contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets, I guess where he was from the hometown. So it was like $2.5 million. He didn't really do much. I'm trying to even find his stats. Stats and news. There we go. His career is 562 games played. He's got 64 goals, 89 assists. He's negative 47 in plus minus. He played 82 games last year. He has 6 goals, 11 assists. Do you pay a man close to $2 million for that? Where is the benefit? The highest goal he's had was the 2021-2022 season. He had 14. He basically peaked. This is why, I can't really get by this. Corrali was acquired as part of the trade with the Sharks for goaltender Martin Jones. Okay. So we sent Martin Jones over to San Jose. And San Jose sent us a first-round pick, which ended up being Trent Frederick. And then we also got Sean Correll. And Trent Frederick was a lively one. We love Trent here. So if anybody really sees the difference within what you're looking at, it's not in Sweeney we trust, because he just looks like a giant weenie. I don't trust Don for the life of me. Okay? Besides the guys I mentioned, there's Michael Esamont, who signed a 2-year annual salary value of 1.45. Another low guy. Then you've got Maddage Blunnell. He's a 25-year-old. He signed for $875. Alex Steves, 25-year-old, another 1 year for $850. You have Jordan Harris, he's 24, so that's $825K. You've got Riley Tuff, it's a 27-year-old in her 2-way contract, $775. Jonathan Asperot, 26-year-old, 2-way. And then Luke Cavalin, who's a goalie, for $775. So you just took some of the methods of what you have in there and just gave it to people that aren't proving. I mean, NHL free agent list should be interesting. Let's see if I can pull this up. Available. You've got Nick Backstrom, Dmitry Orlov, TJ Oshie. I mean, yeah, these guys are old, but you got defender in David Savard. Jeff Skinner. Oh, you got Mac Grizzly. Don't think you want to have him back. You got Ilya Samsonov as goalie. Max Pacioretty would have been like a really good guy to like actually get, probably like low money, but the same thing with Pat Maroon. It's especially if you wanted somebody that, you know, had depth. This is depth. James Reimer, he would be a little older. I mean, you got Perrick Dube. Could have won him. Lucas Edmonds, Ranger. I mean, there's a lot of guys even that are like younger on here that, some of them were hitting that million mark. It might even have a balance for who they could actually be. Instead, you're taking shots on guys that they might not even crack past the fourth line. Here's some winners. So Florida Panthers are already winners, considering Bennett signed an 8-year deal, $64 million on Friday. Marchand inked the 6-year, $31.5, and Aaron Ekblad went for the 8-year, $48 million pack. Panthers have the core of 7 forwards and 3 defensemen locked up through the 29-30 season. So that's insane. Mitch Marner. They did a sign and trade deal with Toronto, and Marner agreed to an 8-year, $96 million pact. And that was before the swap. So now he'll officially be a Vegas Golden Knight. Stan Bowman of the Edmonton Oilers basically popped up Evan Bouchard for the next 4 seasons at a $10.5 million annual average salary. He did sign Trent Frederick to an 8-year deal at $3.85 million. Losers again, Columbus. He laid out $59.5 million over the next 7 seasons. Ivan Provorov looks like is who he signed. Losers, Los Angeles. And they're not mentioning any of the guys that the Bruins signed. The Rangers, Vladislav Garik from Los Angeles. Yeah. Bruins aren't even anywhere on here. That was for yesterday, too. Live look at Nikolai Ehlers, Brock Bozer. So he's off the board. Gavrikov, he's off the board. Mikhail Granlund, he's off the board. Jake Allen, he's a goaltender, he's off the board. Dmitry Orlov, he's only 33. Ryan Lindgren's off the board. Mangiapane's off the board. So he signed with the Oilers. Nate Schmidt off the board. Jonathan Drouin, left winger, off the board. Corey Perry. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot that you can actually move to and make a big splash. And even with the guys that you have, where's the benefit of the hell is it going to do? Because right now, I feel like Don Sweeney. I feel like I'm about to fall asleep. Man, trash. Trash. Ugh. I kind of want to call it to where, like, I'm curious if, in any which way, shape, or form, like what I'm actually seeing out of, the Bruins. If for whatever reason he doesn't hold this team, what happens then? Does anybody remember to the fact that Sleepy Don here signed a long-term contract? What is it, another 4 years that we've got to deal with this schmuck? And it's not even what he did, it's how he did it. Take heed on this. Remember that little get-together that, you had Don Sweeney, you had Cam Neely, and then you had Charlie Jacobs? And what do they say? We're doing this for the fans. You don't go out and get Sean Corrali if you're doing this for fans. You basically put up money and go after guys that can benefit for being here. That doesn't benefit for being here. It doesn't do anything that makes you scream and say, oh my dear God, look at me that I want to be here. No. It basically screams, we're going to be budget friendly for this year, but we want to think that we have your best interests at heart. I'd believe that if I could, but I don't. I'd almost believe it just as much as everybody thought Diddy was guilty. What happened with Diddy? He was found not guilty for racketeering and sex trafficking, but he was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to solicit prostitution. At least Diddy knows how to score with the baby oil. At least Diddy knows who he is, what he is, why he's doing what he's doing, and what he's trying to get away with. The Bruins are they're trying to get away with the world. Can't sit there and pump rainbows and think to the fact that everything's going to be all right, because it ain't. You're swinging for the wrong fences. You basically got a look on you that is not looking right, and you still, no matter what, are trying to be an older team. You're trying to be something that nobody cares about. There's no upside to this. Got a portion of it up. What the hell do we got next? The Celtics. Yay. So, when you look at the Celtics, we talked about this, as great as it's going to be, for Tatum to get his injury up, get everything handled. one of the disappointments is Luke Cornett basically going via way of the trade, or not so much as like the way of the trade, but he's going out in the way of you don't want to be here. And as much as you love the team, you're going out and you're going to San Antonio to be another big, and you're getting paid for it. I mean, like, I think he's getting like 4 years, $40 million. That's that's great. Man's getting paid. What would you not want out of that? I think to the fact for someone like along the lines of Luke Cornett, dude, get your money. Get your money. But you lost Luke Cornett. What happened with the remainder? You're signing Luka Garza to a 2-year deal. Another big man. It's okay. 5th NBA season. He's younger. It's a 2-year contract worth $5.5 million. So it's got a little bit of a bonus to it. It saves you some money. But it allows you to go swinging with everything else. You know, the funny part is I mentioned this. I mentioned this afterwards that kind of made me laugh. So, and I'm trying to find it. One of the things that I stated was, now that everything has basically gone on with the NBA championship over, and with the Indiana Pacers kind of losing, not kind of, they actually did. What does that mean for the remainder of what you have for a team in that aspect? And I kind of got my answer. And one of it was Miles Turner going right out the door for the Milwaukee Bucks. And it's a kick. I'm trying to get the deal case on. So his new contract is $107 million, player option in the final season. And they waived Damian Lillard and they brought in someone like him. And if Turner's ever traded, he's got a 15% bump. That's a huge trade aspect. And yeah, it kind of drops everything that Indiana was doing and now puts them at a disadvantage where they have to get a big. But that, with Giannis and Miles Turner, that's a lot of hooch. That's a lot of beef right there. It's a lot of beef. You know, one of the things that, like, I want to ask any of you, if any of you are a green teamer, if any of you believe in like the guys, one of the things that I'm kind of curious about, and I heard this at some point over the past couple of days. Do you feel to the fact that the Boston Celtics have lost their core players? Al Horford's a free agent, doesn't know what he wants to do, doesn't know if he wants to go back to Boston, doesn't know if he wants to play for another team, doesn't know if he wants to retire. I mean, would you consider him part of your core? Kornet, is he part of your core? Does that make like a big, huge deal with Kornet being out the door? Porzingis, is he another core guy? Drew Holiday, does he constitute as being a core guy? In my thoughts, in my eyes, those aren't your core. And when you think about it, Porzingis kind of started the season off right and ended in the postseason where like he just wasn't anything that you could utilize. He basically broke. It was like, hey, we've got a brand new toy, broken. Hey, this happened, broken. Hey, I just broken. What the? Broken. As much as I'd love Kristaps Porzingis to be here, I think that at some point you just have a broken tool that doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. So over the 2 years, Brad Stevens did what he needed to do, and he got rid of the toy. Nothing wrong with it. It's still good. It just didn't fit the nature of like where you are. You're now a teenager. You need to like think of like other things. Drew Holiday, the same thing. Drew was declining, where it's you used your toy so much, or you got the toy in a manner that was really, really great. But the thing is that the toy kind of started to fade. And with the toy starting to fade, you have to move on to something else. You have to figure out something that's going to benefit you in a better long run. So you got rid of him. You got Anthony Simmons. Nice, good little go. He's a good substitute. He's someone that can basically be in there. And do anything that you basically want to do. But where's the core? Where's the nucleus to everything that is holding this team together? Here's one. Tatum. You lose more games when he doesn't start. You lose more games when he's not there. Where is he going to be right now? He's going to start the season on the DL. Could he make it back by the end of the year? Yes. Do you want to see him back by the end of the year? No. Why? Because he's got to rest. Here's another one. Brown. Jaylen Brown is another core nucleus of this team. Is he going to have Jason Tatum right now? No. Is there something that he can actually do that's going to strengthen him? Yes. He can go out and ball. He doesn't have to worry about being in, like with another Jay right now this year. He's got the team to himself. He can run amok. He can do anything and everything to the fact of like how he controls and maintains. And you can actually prove to the fact if he's got the leadership qualities and capabilities in him right now. That's a huge step for him. Who's the next one? Derek White. Why? Because Derek White is your little big. When he's blocking more than Porzingis is, that screams in abundance. When he is defending like nobody's business, especially at his age, that is something remarkable to behold. When he is shooting, he's got the shooting prowess. He's controlling the team. He's controlling the marks. He's controlling everything he's doing. He's doing something right, and the team is going through him to do it because he's basically giving you the tenacity to do it. Can you say he's part of the core? Yeah. Who else is part of the core? Peyton Pritchard. When Drew Holiday gets injured, Peyton Pritchard steps up. When Derek White has an off game, Peyton Pritchard steps up. When Jaylen Brown is not there, Peyton Pritchard steps up. When Jason Tatum is having an issue, Peyton Pritchard steps up. There's a reason why this man won the 6th Player Award. He is there for his teammates. He is there to roll and do everything that is needed in order to balance and facilitate when someone goes down. In this case, we're not going to have Tatum for the year. So expect Pritchard to make those steps and make a vast amount of changes that are going to be beneficial for him. I mean, that's what I want to see over the time. I mean, I remember when you had Peyton Pritchard, who was this guy that everybody wanted to trade. Everybody wanted to get rid of. Everybody just wanted to say, like, hey, Peyton Pritchard, see you later. We don't need you right now. You don't need to sign that contract. You don't need to be here in Boston. You can actually go to a different team and actually excel. You could probably be a starter. You can be a lot more things. But instead, this guy wanted to sit back and be in Boston. How many people say that? Nah. You know, I got my contract right here. I'm going to roll with the boys. Man won a championship with us. He's part of that nucleus. He's part of the mold. So when you actually hear somebody say, oh, well, they're trading the nucleus, really? Those 4 players, if those players are still here, that nucleus is intact. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, those are the 2 J's and the 2 people that are built around this team. Derek White, for as long as he's playing, I could see him being a Celtic because he has the rhythm and he has the reason for being here. He's a facilitator. He's a dominator. He's a small guy that gets it done. Can't say anything bad about that. Peyton Pritchard. He's the guy that you need that motivates everybody around you and steps up. So when you need something and you need to get that drive, you go to Peyton Pritchard. Get it done. Make it happen. For me, that core nucleus is there. What you're putting around it is what you're going to have for this upcoming season. The 2025-2026 season is going to basically run through Jaylen Brown. And you're going to have a supporting cast in Derek White. You're going to have the support model in Peyton Pritchard. And you're going to have the off-court antics of the support of Jason Tatum. Now, with Porzingis gone, Kornet gone, you have to fill the role. Okay? Luka Garza does that in some way by giving you a younger big that'll at least be able to maintain and handle things in a younger manner. Can you go out and get another big? If there is one around, what's the other benefit of like what you can do? You can go get somebody where you're not spending a lot. You know? The Blazers just did a buyout for DeAndre Ayton. He's a big dude. Okay, he's 7 feet, 252. His stats aren't bad. 14.4 points a game, 10.2 rebounds, 1.6 in assists, and his field goal percentage is 56%. Where does he shoot? He shoots down below. Will that work with Missoula ball? That's a good question. But if his defense is actually holding up, I mean, 1.2 blocks a game, it's not bad. You know, he almost records a steal a game. That's an even better. Free throws he's got to work on. He's taken a couple 3-pointers. Never mind. He actually signed a 2-year, $16.6 million contract with the Lakers. You lose out on a big like that. Chris Paul, no. I mean, the other thing is with the other guy signing with the Lakers, it kind of puts Al Horford out of going to the Lakers. I mean, you should be able to get a couple guys. I mean, do you I mean, someone like Spencer Dinwiddie, if you could pay him, Gary Payton the second. These are things that you can actually do that may, these may be like a little bit of a bonus. Why I thought DeAndre Ayton would be a good fit. Well, he's 27 years old, and he's got a lot of upswing. So to get him for like decent money wouldn't have been too bad. I mean, Miles Turner would have been like the absolute all. But the problem is you don't have the money the Bucks do with like $107 million over 4 years for like a center like that. I'm trying to think like what are the other ones. Brook Lopez going to the Clippers. He would have been another one for like a little bit. A little bit older. But Cornette being like as young as he was, I mean, he would have been like perfect to come back. I'm trying to find. The Dallas Mavericks actually signing D'Angelo Russell. That's a bonus. Clippers agreed to re-sign Nicholas Batum. Trying to find the remaining of it. There you go. Josh Minot. 2-year, $5 million deal with the Celtics. It was Luka Garza. So there's some work that the Celtics need to do. There's things that you're basically going to go out and, you need to make like a couple things. But if you're trusting anybody right now, Brad Stevens is basically the man to go with. Why? Because he's putting together not so much as like secondary, but he's putting together a nucleus of guys that will go out and do the things that need to be done in order to benefit the team. not just to fill in, not just because, oh, look, they're there. He's not afraid to go out and get what he needs. That's a leader. That's somebody that, you know, when you look at some of the other guys that are signing other people, when we're talking about, you know, Don Sweeney here, when we're talking about, you know, Breslow, the benefit of it is can you guys, or can anybody basically do what is needed in order to get the job done? And Brad Stevens has been that guy. Joe Mazzulla is a supporter of it within what is going on. Are they working together to put something that's going to be a proper product? And everybody knows the benefit within what happened to Tatum. Is he down? Yes. Is it going to affect the season? Yes. Are they going to try to put the best product on the floor in order for everybody to be at least be entertained? Yes. But where's the bonus to? Could this team actually go out and win games? Could they be the guys that actually step up and be like, hey, we're not slouches. We're a decent team. We're going to make everything go. We're going to make Joe Mazzulla look good. Name another team besides the Celtics that can go out and say that right now. The Bruins are going to have to beat everybody down. The Red Sox have a lot of work to do. And the Patriots are just basically going to be there. I have faith in Brad Stevens. Joe Mazzulla, we'll see. Because there's not a lot of guys that are going to be able to do Mazzulla ball right now. That 3 ball is going to be a very, very dead duck. Speaking of dead ducks, it's funny to the fact that, like, I'm sitting here, like, looking at the WNBA, and they have a Commissioner's Cup. It's played every year. And without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever beat the Lynx. Great. What was Caitlin Clark doing, though? Rooting on his team. She was there. She was support. She was doing what she needed to do. It's part of what you do as a side piece. You know, especially when you're injured. Pulled groin, etc. You got to be supportive. So, with that support, you're also finding out that Caitlin Clark is one of the 2 people that are handling being the captains of the WNBA All-Star team. So with her being one of the stars, where in any which way, shape, or form do you think that actually puts Angel Reese? Well, it kind of puts Angel Reese down there. So they have their 5 starters for both sides. And now you kind of need to balance with what Angel Reese is. And everybody has her maybe with one of the support, like, or, you know, one of the support casts that, like, if somebody can't make it or, like, you know, you need to fill in. That's basically where she's at. And what does that scream to her? Like, to me, that basically screams, well, the WNBA is not taking a part of your actions. Does anybody agree? I mean, does anybody really think to the fact that Angel Reese is making headlines for the right thing? She decided to actually coin the phrase "me bounds" and make it a saying for herself. I've got my me bounds. It wasn't even her that created it. But I still get this piece 2 years later that with Angel Reese, especially with everything you hear of her, is she really doing or the reason for women's basketball? Or is it still Caitlin Clark that's making mountains out of everything she's doing and making probably the best of the best with everything that's going on with her? My bet right now is probably on Caitlin. Leave a comment. I want to know about that. I really do. Oh. But with it, I'm coming up with a 2-hour mark. I went over basically everything I wanted to go over. It was nice to have Al. It was nice to basically have, some bonus pieces in the chat. The Peace Sally, thank you for coming in and being our chat. Normally I'm not on this early. I am contemplating actually doing I might do an afternoon drive on one of the days. It might be an afternoon for Sunday. The thing is, I like being. There's a reason why I do midnight. It's because if anything happens, I'm right there to pick up the news, read it to you, let you know what's going on. Boston sports, other sports. It's kind of like one of those really cool pieces that you can just keep on moving. And I don't have to miss anything either. If anything gets announced at 10, 11, there's somebody that's going to jump on it in the morning. Small guy. But also, if you want to hear this on Spotify, if you want to hear it through a couple of the different locations, we'll be here. Thank you, man. Glad you actually caught it. I always love when I get some people in here that can enjoy a little goodness. And that is not good. So I'll end the night with this. It is between everything that the Cincinnati Reds beat the Boston Red Sox. 8-4 is the final. Looks to be Nick Martinez got the win. At 6.2 innings, he let up 4. That was after they did that. After the Red Sox, I'm believing Greg Weissert was the loser. Didn't hold well. Looks to be like the curse basically popped back because celebrating the anniversary of the 75 Red Sox against the Reds, and the Reds kind of came back and kind of walloped them. Oh, moments, karma, bitch. It's always a bitch. All right. Well, as always, I thank you guys for checking in. Feel free, like I said, you can listen to us on Spotify. We are also on iHeartRadio. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are also in that lovely place called Amazon Podcasts. Who actually thought? This guy did. But feel free to drop us a line, drop us some follows. And by the way, if anybody gets that George Costanza bobblehead, I want pictures. Pictures, man. That is a great Seinfeld moment, and I want pictures. All right. And to everybody, this was Boston Concessions. We are an SSBN podcast, and we are thankful in every which way, shape, or form to everybody who came out, hung out, dropped us a line, and did everything. From P. Selly 0891 hanging out in the YouTube chat, to our beloved Big Al, or Al Nahigian, as he came in and gave us some love. And also for the awesome message from Steve Scott, as we played it on the Speak Pipe. Feel free to go on. It is speakpipe.com/Boston_concessions. You can leave us a lovely voicemail, and as long as it is good, not racist, not anything, it is nice, good, clean, talking about the Red Sox. You can talk about me all you want. I will play it. I will abuse myself. I don't care. But the minute you say something really, really bad, nope, we're watching what you do. But by all means, leave the comments. I will play them on air, and I'll show the love. But until then, thank you for joining me for the 60th. It's been an awesome, awesome night. Awesome and wonderful 2 hours. And we'll catch you Sunday. Till then, have an amazing 4th. Be safe. Keep your digits. Do not blow them up. And if you are playing with fireworks, be safe. And mind the dogs and the neighbors. Be respectful with everything else. Till then, I'm your host, Topher. Good night, everybody.